Good morning. My name's Denise Park, and I'm coming to you from beautiful Northern California. Today we're going to create colonial knots. To create a colonial knot, I'm currently using a size 16 needle. I'm using large knitting yarn in red so that you can see it, along with large gauge plastic canvas. I have an away knot here, and I'm going to bring my needle up from the back of my canvas. As I pull the thread through, I'm going to shape it in kind of a half circle. All right? Then I take my needle, the point, and go underneath this thread close to the canvas. With my non-dominant hand, I'm going to wrap the same thread across the needle like a figure 8. You can see the 8 there. And I'm going to put down through the diagonal as if I was doing a tent stitch. Now notice that I'm keeping this thread tight, not pulling it so that it pinches, but keeping it taut. Oh, oops. Okay, pull it through, keeping it taut. Let the thread go through. And now it's secure. You notice that there's a lot more loft and a lot more weight to a colonial knot than there is to a French knot. And of course, the yarn is thick too. I'll create a French knot next to this so that you can see the difference. So with a French knot, I'm holding my needle parallel to the canvas. I'm wrapping it one time, going down in the diagonal, keeping the thread tight, pulling it through until it's taut. Notice the size difference in the two knots. As with the French knot, your goal with the colonial knot is to make them even so that they look the same. Okay, so I'll bring my thread up from the back, lay it loose in kind of a half circle. With the point of my needle, I'm going to tuck it underneath the loop that I've created, and then my non-dominant hand, I'm going to wrap a figure 8 around the needle so you can see that 8 shape. Then I'm going to take the point of my needle and go down in the diagonal as if I was doing a tent stitch. Notice I'm keeping the tension with my non-dominant hand, pulling the thread through until it's just tight. Okay? Notice that it gives away here because there's nothing holding it down. So what creates the tension to keep your knot against the canvas is the next knot or the tie-off stitch. So I'm going to bring my needle up again. When I pull it through, notice it places the knot where it's supposed to be. I'm going to tuck my needle underneath this loop. I'm going to wrap it around the top of the needle to make the figure 8. And I'm going to take the point of my needle and go down in the diagonal, keeping the thread tense. Pull it through. And I have another colonial knot. I hope you've enjoyed this. Colonial knots are beautiful. They can be mixed with French knots to make uneven bushes or hair or beards. They can be used in a large area to look like hillsides or gardens. See you next time.